Confirmed.
Hey! Is this thing on? What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Let's get it. That's right, Taylor. Let's get it. Let's get after it. All right, we got some exciting stuff going on today because, like we've been talking about for the past couple weeks, Bitcoin has seemingly rejected, can you believe it, at the 50% Fibonacci retrace resistance. You see what I'm saying, people? Have we not been talking about this for the past couple weeks? Okay? Made all the sense in the world. We'll get into why that is. Nick, solid intro. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, man. Welcome, everybody. Wednesday, February 2nd. All right. Hope you had a good one. Hope you're having a good night. Brought to you by you know who. All right, you know, multi-million-dollar deals. They're back. Okay. Not gonna go into detail, but it was a lot. Anyway, We apply technical analysis to the charts here, right? We go through anything with the chart. Crypto, stocks, commodities, foreign currency, whatever. If you have something you want me to take a look at, just throw it in the chat, dude. It's all free. I'll just do a live analysis for you. This is an interactive spot, a safe place to be yourself and have a little fun, man. And then something that usually is high stress and not always so fun, we try to have a little fun, all right? So let's get into it. First off, like I just said, we have fun here, right? Spins first, as always. Okay, we'll start with Tay. You were first in the chat. Let's give you one real quick. See what you got. Unfortunate, Nick. Wow. Godlike. Good of the goods. Zeus of the Obelicious. Nice, dude. I don't know, man. Nick gets God more than anybody I've ever seen in this chat. It's pretty unreal, dude. But congratulations, man. Zeus. Huh. Yeah, dude. I guess I don't. Have you got anything else besides Poseidon and Zeus? You've got knocked out 2 of the 4 goods, huh? Knocked out 2 of the 4. If you get all 4, maybe I'll give you some. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that, but that's an interesting concept. All right, dude. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Right. So what I've been talking about past week, and just literally since January 21st, right, the sell-off, and when it came down and started getting support around 33,000, because there was no bullish divergence, right? You had a lower low on the oscillators, lower low in price. There was no divergence at this support. It was just the 886 retrace from your July low to your November high, right around the 886. Look at this green line back here, right at the 886, okay? Very common area for assets to get some support. That's where the harmonics start to come into play and everything, right? So made a lot of sense that you would get some support there. You did, in fact, get a relief rally. And in these relief rallies, as we noticed looking throughout history, you would often get the 50% retrace, right? From your highs to your lows, retrace 50%, or the 618, right? That golden zone, as people like to call it sometimes. It would retrace relief 50% before selling off down to the support, where it would try again, right? Happened again here, to the low, 50% retrace before selling off to where it just recently rallied from. And once again, we zoom in for you so you can see, so you know I'm not full of shite, the 50% retrace. So let me just redraw it for you so you can see. All right, high to low, left to right, 50% retrace. All right, and this zone, this red zone, was just 40,000, this inflection point back here from September 21st, right, the low. And that 50% retrace, right, and just zoned it out, and that's a zone of resistance. It got up into it, wicked out of it, never officially closed below. I'm sorry, never officially closed above the 50% retrace, man. So the technical analysis definitely being respected here, definitely playing out. And what more can you want, man?
Are you not entertained?
Okay, made all the sense in the world to be rejecting here. So it is. So where are we going next? Next up is going to be the low, right? That was also the 886 retrace again from the July low, right? Like that. So here's what's looking like it's going to happen, because if we take a look at the daily candle you just had, this daily candle, which was down, 4.63% on the day, engulfed not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. Okay, guess 5. Almost 6 days of price action, right? This bearish engulfing candle engulfed all of that. So the last 5 days of price action you've had to the upside wiped out within a day, right? That is not good confirmation for bulls. That's really bad, and that's really good confirmation for bears, for the bears argument, which was ultimately what I believed when it was down at 33, that it would come up to the 50% retrace before coming back down to test 33 again, and inevitably 30,000, right? Just do a full reset to that July low. So you're seemingly at this very moment coming back down to retest the 886, at which point is, we could start to see some Class A bullish divergence develop. All right, so this is the time. If you've got money on the side and you're holding off, have it ready, right? We want to see something like this. It comes down to the 886, holds, and then we get some kind of confirmation right around here. All right, down here, the 886, confirm. If it doesn't hold and we're not getting divergence or anything at that point, then we look for it down at the 30,000 mark, all right, the next level. And you could have a buy order set here for 30 if you want to try and scalp it on the reaction low, but ultimately we want it to come and do something like this. We want it to confirm the bottom. All right, that second low is usually the confirmation low. That's what it's called. So it would come up, reject off of the prior low, like it did here. Maybe does another 50% retrace before coming back down, and then holding with some kind of reversal indicator. All right, that is where we look to get in on the asset, like right here, if we start to get that. So we'll see. If it comes down to 30, you'd probably get another relief, something similar to what we've been getting this whole way down in this downtrend. But yeah, so don't worry. Trade setups, altcoins and stuff, they'll have their turn again. They're just going to head back down to, their next levels of support, wherever that may be. Some of them are kind of scary looking, but yeah, it's kind of cool seeing it get respected and go the way you think it's going to go. And again, the whole reason that I believed that this would just be a 50% rally before returning to the downside was because we didn't have the divergence to back up this relief, right? So it was just a relief because it was oversold at the 886. That's it. That is not a strong argument to say it's time to long the asset and start creating higher lows and higher highs and all the stuff that we need to reverse the trend back towards the upside, right? To be trending up, still trending down. You're at this moment putting in just another lower high, and if there was an argument, the argument back down to 33 and 30 is stronger than any argument back up to break resistance or anything like that. All right, you're getting confirmation. So just saying, be aware and be ready for some more selling on Bitcoin and inevitably altcoins. Right? Bitcoin dictates this market, so if Bitcoin is selling off, the altcoins are going to continue to sell off as well. All right, but that's Bitcoin, man. Nick, or should I just call you Zeus for the rest of the chat? How you doing tonight, dude? Let's move it to Ethereum, all right? Let's end this music, dude. All right, so Ethereum with the, remember we had that death cross back here, January 27th, all right? Just throw it on the pile. But Ethereum doing something very similar. All right, Ethereum coming up to its, you guessed it, 50% retrace, right? Not only did it confirm a bearish engulfing candle, this would be what is considered a tweezer top as well. So when you have the wicks come up and they're equal, up here about 2,850, that is what is called a tweezer top candle pattern. So it is a bearish engulfing tweezer top, all right? Both very strong bearish indicators. The thing about Ethereum is that you did get above this inflection point back here from September 21st. All right, if we just zoom out a little bit, you can clearly see the U shape going on here, right? So you might try and hold that. If Bitcoin continues to sell off, it won't hold. But that's seemingly what it's trying to do right now. But yeah, I mean, you break that inflection point there, heading down back to this inflection point, July 6th, this crest back here. you'll head back down there around 2,400 again to try and hold. All right, that's another level of support. If you break that, then you're coming back down to this wick low from January 24th, right around 2,167. Ultimately, man, I just want this thing to go to $2,000. All right. The reason being is, we have the bullish shark waiting down there, right around the 886. Ethereum caught its reaction off the 786, so was a little bit of an outperformer as far as the sell-off from the top. But we now have a bullish shark, and a pretty good one, down at 2,000 as well. All right, just 2,000 psychological, confluent with this inflection point back from February 19th. All right, if we can get some bullish divergence or something down there, dude, 2,000 would be the easiest trade in the world, right? So that's where I want Ethereum to go. And if Bitcoin does continue to sell off, which that bearish engulfing candle is that's a bad one, man. You wipe out 5 days of price action at the 50% Fibonacci retrace at resistance. It's not good, right? As far as if you want Bitcoin to go up, it's probably not going up after something like that. It just makes more sense to head down to 33,000 or 30,000. So if it does do that, Ethereum's going to come down to the 886. Right, it did just react off the 786 this time, and the 886 is more common anyway. So just get down there, and we'll look for a trade set up down there. All right, that's the next level that makes sense, and then get something like this. Right, same kind of deal. Get the reaction at the pattern completion zone, and then we look to gain an entry after confirmation of the bottom. If you wanted to have some buy entry set up at 2,000 and just place the stop order below. Something like this. All right, just have the stop order right below it. And the first target would be a 50% retrace from that high to low. Same deal, right? So the first target would be something like this. Okay. Risking 5% for about 20, which is about 4-to-1 odds. So that would be a pretty good trade. And if we just get the confirmation low, it's even better. You can just load up again. What you do have to consider after sharks in general is there's always the possibility for the 5-0. So there's a harmonic pattern called a 5-0 pattern, which is just after a bullish shark, only after the sharks, from point C to point D, a 50% retrace. So that would get you up to about here, right? Up here at 3,464, if in fact the bottom does come in, it does do something like this, right? Once price gets about here, you would be at the pattern completion zone of what's called the bearish 5-0, which is just another, extension of the harmonic, which is just an area of reversal of selling. But that's, way into the future, nothing to be concerned about right now. Ultimately, we want it to come down to 2,000, man. This, where it is right now at the 786, this is what is called the bullish cipher. Scott Carney will talk about it. Ciphers often turn into sharks, right? Ciphers aren't the most reliable harmonic patterns. Sharks are much more likely. And especially with what we see going on with Bitcoin right now, selling off, it's adding to the argument, if the shark is more likely anyway, that it's coming down to the 886 to the shark. So we want it to go here. So let's go, dude. Come on. Nick, I know you were seeing some articles and stuff tonight, right? I know you were seeing some stuff about Meta and all that stuff. We'll take a look at that. But, yeah, man, ultimately, Ethereum, if it does continue to pivot here, you will be developing a hidden bearish divergence, right, on the daily time frame. Okay. Same thing on the RSI. You might have to zoom in a little bit. Cha! That's right, dude. But yeah, zoom in a little on the RSI. You'll see higher highs with selling impending, right? So higher highs on the oscillators, lower high in price, hidden bearish divergence, which means a continuation to the downside. It's a continuation pattern of the overall trend, right? Of this overall trend. Continuation. Because even with higher levels of buying momentum, you could not push price back to its most recent high. That's what that means, all right? So it's just a bearish signal. Continuation to the downside. Add the tweezer top with the bearish engulfing candle on top of it. Yuck. All right. Take a look at Binance Coin. So notice this with Binance Coin, right? The death crosses in this current environment have seemingly been respected lately. So Binance Coin is about to get its death cross. It's literally at it today. All right, so don't be surprised to see some selling of Binance Coin. It hasn't really performed up to par either with what a lot of the altcoins are doing. It got to its 382, didn't get to its 50% retrace, right? But it was also butting up against historical inflection points, resistance, stuff like that. No bullish divergence. It does have some pretty good support back here though, September 26th at like 320. You can see, right? Touched here, here, back here. So 320 is a pretty strong point of support. And if we throw the Fibonacci from the low to the high, the 886, all right, it actually got down about 95% of the way, I want to say, from the top, from this low to the high. But yeah, ultimately at support at the 886, but so this is kind of different too, right? On the daily, it doesn't have hidden bearish divergence. So kind of a question mark on Binance Coin. That death cross is definitely not nice, but ultimately not performing in line with what a lot of other assets are doing. It is below the 50-day moving average on the 4-hour. Kind of a hint of head and shoulders a little. Something like this. The left shoulder is a little bit higher, so I wouldn't classify it as like a textbook one, but all right, now a lower high showing on the 4-hour. So I mean, that's a bearish structure downside implied for Binance Coin as well. And if Bitcoin sells off, Binance Coin is going to sell off. All right. So look for Binance Coin down around 335, 347, 350. All right, come back down to test this low, even 320. At that point, again, then maybe we start to get some bullish divergence. All right, that's really what we need. One of the main signals that that the bottom is in for the crypto market, for Bitcoin, whatever it is to get the MACD and the RSI to line up with their bullish divergence at support. Okay, that's very important to get something like that if you're going to argue that the bottom is in. All right, otherwise it's most likely just going to be another sell-off. If there's no divergence down here, another relief rally to the 50% retrace before selling off again and coming back down to then here test it and try and confirm the bottom. All right, but you get down here and you have bullish divergence on the MACD and the RSI or something, it's kind of a different story. Okay, that could usher in a bottom and a strong reversal. Ultimately, you'll want to come down and make like a higher low at that point. That's more likely what would happen in a situation like that, but hasn't happened yet. So this is the time to be keeping an eye on crypto and the markets in general. When they're selling off like this, confirmation of lows. It's exactly where you want to look to get in. And when you can see this stuff and you can visualize it and see it on a chart, you don't have to guess. You don't have to listen to everybody's noise as far as like it's approaching the 50% retrace and everybody's saying to buy it because it's going to break out and go to the moon. You don't have to listen to that stuff anymore. When you can plot your Fibonacci's and stuff and understand the technical analysis, that's the whole point of it. Okay. Move to Cardano. So, dude, Cardano's looking kind of scary. So, on the day, you bearishly engulfed. All right, and you bearishly engulfed down to $1.02. You do not want to be below $1. You don't want to close below $1. You haven't done it since February 23rd of 2021. So you really don't want to close below $1. And the fact that you're bearishly engulfing at $1 and Bitcoin's looking like it wants to roll over and head back down to lower levels to supports, Cardano is probably going to close below $1. Okay? And you just look left, December 27th, January 17th, double top kind of stuff, right? Implying that the top is in for Cardano at $1.60. Right? You've got $1.50 up here. It's just the context for this is really bad, especially when Cardano didn't even come close to retracing. Wow, I can't put the read. Hold on. Let me call Philly special here. All right, the low, the high. It did nothing. It didn't come up to its 50% retrace. It didn't come up to test $1.20 again. It's just doing nothing. It's just going sideways, and now it's bearishly engulfed. So, dude, I'm just saying, if you're a Bitcoin, or not a Bitcoin, a Cardano holder, and you don't have a stop at like 91 cents, I truly do not know what you are doing. Unless you're in that mindset of like, I'm just DCAing for the next 5 years. Okay, cool, but just know that a move down to here is very possible and almost likely if you close below the $1 mark, just based on the straight up price action you had back here in February. All right, so dude, do not be surprised if you see Cardano head down to like 40 cents. The reason being is this peak back here, right? We've been talking about this, May 3rd, this peak back here. So, yeah, man. And if we do a Fibonacci from $1 to the all-time high, lines up almost perfectly with the 1272. So, at which case, I'm pretty sure I've tried. I don't think it worked. I have like a butterfly. Kind of. Yeah, maybe. I think that C to D is a little bit deep, but I mean, possibly. But yeah, 61% downside to that point. Confluent with the Fibonacci level. And so, I mean, yeah, it makes sense that this would be the level to head down to if you break below $1. All right, maybe the 113. And maybe it evens out there and gets some support, and that's the bottom at like 68 cents. But, you know, overall, a lot of downside below $1. Okay, you don't really want much to do with Cardano below $1 until it starts getting to those levels. Can we take a long at Spotify later? Do you mean a look or a long, like, what are you asking me there? I'm not really sure what you're asking me there. Take a look at Neo. I know it was holding out for a while. Ultimately, this candle is called a shooting star. Okay. What we close, shooting star, long upper wick. It's basically just an upside down hammer after a rise in price, after a rally. So at the top, after a buying, this upper wick down to a body is called a shooting star. The inverse of this pattern is the hanging man. Too much Voodoo Ranger I'm drinking over here. Do you have Voodoo Ranger? Or do I?
Right.
We try to keep it loose, man. Okay? And I gotta make the sponsors happy. But yeah. So Neo, one of the only ones that actually ended up on the day. It was outperforming. Bitcoin started selling off. So people were like, okay, let's take profits at 21. below, you're back below this inflection point back from June 27th. So, yeah, dude, shooting star. Don't be surprised. Neo is probably one if you're shorting. Neo's probably going to have a bad day tomorrow. Zeus has plenty over here. Nice, dude. That is what Zeus would be drinking, by the way. If he did. He's not drinking like Elysian wine or something. He's drinking Voodoo Ranger Indian Pale Ale.
Right.
But yeah, man, Neo was an outperformer on the day. You know, technically was one of the only ones that ended up in the notable coin. So again, shooting star, bearish reversal, and if it does in fact continue to the downside, not hidden bearish divergence, maybe a little bit, same high with a lower high. All right, I guess you could kind of classify that as like I guess that would be class C, hidden bearish divergence. You would definitely have it on the R side though. If I could zoom it in, there we go. Oh, I'm sorry, I retract that, and you would not have it on the R side. You've got a lower high going on with a lower high, so it would just be bearish confluence. But ultimately, the next level for Neo, yeah, probably going to be back down at its most recent support. This peak as well, back from February 13th, so right around $16.66. All right. But it sucks because I wish Bitcoin could have held out for at least another day, because what I was noticing with a lot of these assets, so we can move it to the 4-hour, they were showing structures like this, right? They were double bottoming and then making slightly higher, the inverse head and shoulders kind of stuff. The oscillators were all looking similar, but some hadn't popped like the others did. And it was kind of like, it's like they were at the deli almost. And each day, a lot of the alts looked exactly like this, but just hadn't popped off yet. They were hanging around their, 382, or they were hanging onto their 236. And the theory was that, I know Theta was one of them, and there was one other one. Nick's drunk. Nick is drunk, dude. You're gonna come in here, right? You don't have Voodoo. You don't drink Voodoo Ranger. You're drinking Bud Light over there.
Oh, do ya?
Yeah, I've been immunized.
You've probably been immunized. But Neo ultimately did come up to its 50% retrace, right? It made it. So the theory was there were other alts, and I mean, we can just take a look at it. Pretty sure it was Theta. Yeah, so Theta, and this was the setup. So notice, and I can actually do this. Right, so here's Neo, here's Theta. So similar kind of stuff going on, similar on the oscillators. Right, much lower lows kind of going on, but ultimately making some higher lows, inverse head and shoulder kind of stuff around the 236. That was about back here earlier on in the day this morning, holding on to its 50-day moving average, much like Neo was back here. So a lot of similarities going on, and the theory was that Theta and some of these more, I guess, prominent coins hanging on to the 50-day moving average would make their move up to their 50% retrace. They just haven't done it yet. And as long as Bitcoin could have held, it probably would have. It was all contingent on Bitcoin holding, though. So Bitcoin ultimately did not hold. It was literally like 5 minutes after I posted this theory in the Discord that Bitcoin started dumping. And I was like, all right, yeah, don't take any of these trades. We needed Bitcoin to hang on for like another day. Either hang on or break out, and this most likely would have happened, but ultimately Bitcoin rejected and dumped, so yeah. But yeah, interesting. What could have been, Nick, you're just gonna take that, dude? You're just gonna let Taylor say you're drunk? When you might, in fact, not be drunk?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Nick, if you don't respond says a lot about you, man.
You are one pathetic loser.
But, yeah, let's move back to Neo. Theta not playing out. Nova is drunk. Nova is too young, dude. She's only 2 years old. It's my dog, who I got to get on the stream at some point. Kind of disappointed I haven't had her on here yet, but we'll get her on here. I'll let you guys meet the pup.
Nice.
Okay. Speaking of pups, it's a nice segue here. Let's take a look at Doge. All right. Massively underperformed. You know, again, some of the alts kind of had a hint of Cardano flavor to it, right? Kind of double top-in type stuff before coming down to a major level of support. I mean, the fact that you closed below, that you've been below 16 cents, that was kind of like the dagger, man. That's not good. That was a strong level of support once, 2 times, thrice, right? But ultimately just making your way back to 8 cents. All right, 8.7 cents, this inflection point back here from February 8th. All right, so let's throw Fibonacci on there from a little low to a high point. Dude, it lines up perfectly with the 1618. All right, so, you know, it just makes all the sense in the world that that's where you're heading. The golden mean ratio, very strong level of support, reversal type stuff. But yeah, ultimately Doge just going sideways, hasn't been doing anything. No divergence on the MACD. You did have a little bit on the RSI, right here. So lower low in price, higher low in the RSI, but ultimately you just went sideways, right? If you've got the divergence and sellers are exhausted, then the price should have done something like this, right? At least come up to test the 50-day moving average, at least come up to test 16 cents. You did neither of those things. You went indecision sideways. Nobody wanted to buy it, but people weren't really selling it either, right? Which just, again, it's like just people are just looking at each other, standing in a room. If you were at war and everybody was just sitting there looking at each other like, what should we do? They'd probably get blown up eventually, right? There's no decision going on. So at this level, below major historical support with no divergence on the MACD, but with divergence on the RSI and no reaction, you're probably going to blow up, Doge. I'm just saying. So, I don't know, dude. If you're a Doge holder and you believe Doge is going to be the future currency of the world, stop loss maybe at like 12 cents. Especially if Bitcoin rolls over. Yeah, coins like this, it could get absolutely destroyed. The meme tokens and stuff like that, they're just even more risky than, you know, the startup altcoin. So, yeah, 8 cents is looking like the next potential entry for Doge. All right, got it?
Are you guys having a killer time?
If you're in here, say what's up. Shout out your favorite company or something. I don't know. Take a look at it. And on the dog topic, let's just for the fun of it, man. Grimace Coin. Alright, let's take a look at Grimace Coin before we go there. Grimace Coin is on here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so Grimace to wrapped ether. Alright, that's going to be the chart. This is the chart for Grimace to wrapped ether. Alright, let's move it to a time frame where we could actually maybe see some price action. Okay. Let me see. Was this no answer for its rise here? Yeah, so Grimace Coin had a no answer rise on January 26th. All right, as you can see. I do believe that this bar actually represents 258,000%. Pretty sure this was all a result of Elon tweeting something about McDonald's. They were like, I'll get a Happy Meal if you guys accept Doge or something. And then they responded with, we'd rather, I don't know, accept Grimace Coin or something. And this happened. So it's a joke, right? It's a, you know, the fact that it did that was kind of interesting, I guess. Kind of shows you the craziness of this market sometimes. Oh yeah, dude. No, it's a real coin. But I mean, who knows, man? Maybe the Shiba Inu community will get in on it and legitimize it somehow, right? Give it a website. Maybe the Hamburglar will get involved and invest. Yeah, there you go, dude. The Hamburglar. That's right, dude. We don't like Grimace. He steals milkshakes. Fat lard. I looked up what he actually is. He's like an androm... you know what? Hold on. What is Grimace? Here it is. The wiki fandom, right? So, Grimace is, let's see here. Character featured in McDonald's commercials. He is a rotund, right? Rotund. It's a good word. Character, purple being of intermittent species with short arms and legs. He's known for his slow-witted demeanor. His most common expression is the word "duh" before every sentence. So he's like, duh, like he's, you know, special. But Grimace, yeah, large anthropomorphic creature with short arms and legs. Started out as an evil character who used to steal milkshakes before being changed to a good one. Favorite with the kids. Creepy. Hoping to get an XRP settlement for my birthday. Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. I'm sure it would pump. I don't know. I don't know. Do you have like an expectation for have you been listening, Mr. Obe 45, aka Father? Have you been listening for what they predict, I guess, that price would go to after an approval, or what's the progress, I guess, with like the approval? Has there been any progress? I'm not sure. I haven't really been following it. But let's take a look at Shiba Inu coin, just because, right, on the topic of DOGE, we looked at DOGE. Let's look at its, partner. Same thing, right? There's no strong historical support that it's at. We go from the low to the high. Not even at a fib really yet. We can move it a little bit more local to see if maybe from this low in January it's getting something. I guess, right? I guess it's at the 1618. Okay. Okay. No bullish divergence or anything. So more than likely, and it didn't get to its 50% retrace either from its high to low, right? It got up to the, the 382? Got up to the 382, and then just going sideways. So even looks kind of similar to Doge, but there is no historical support on this thing, right? The only historical support you have now, the strongest level, is 9 quadrillionths of a dollar, whatever that number is, okay? Down here, it's a further drawdown of 53 cents, okay? And I hope it goes there. For anybody that bought Shiba Inu, sorry, I hope it goes there, okay? You need a lesson, a one that hurts, one that you'll remember, you can sear into your brain on why to not buy jokes. Don't use your hard-earned money to buy stuff like Shiba Inu coin, okay? All right. Frosty. Not to be harsh on you guys or anything, but like as soon as Shiba Inu coin was announced, you should have been like,
hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
You're gonna put your hard-earned money that you work for into that? Those guys are just laughing at you. All right, the creators of Shiba Inu are laughing at you when you're buying this stuff, all right? Move it to Luna, okay? So Luna, another one, all right? Now with the Bitcoin sell-off, it's painting like it's not an evening star because it's not like real. It's not a real like uptrend into it that happened. You did bearishly engulf on the 4-hour right below the 50-day moving average. All right, at historical inflection points of support, so it's pretty strong confirmation of resistance selling to the downside. The 4-hour showing some pretty strong hidden bearish divergence that's been developing since January 30th. All right, you've got higher highs in the oscillator. You have gone red officially. So you might come down to 43.33 to try and hold that again, but ultimately where you really want it to go is 37.88. All right, and you've got the beautiful butterfly going on down there. This is a very nice butterfly harmonic at a very strong historical horizontal support. All right, so you won't have the divergence at that point, which is kind of like whatever, but it is, you know, it's a strong butterfly, and you can definitely expect a reaction at that point. Maybe it's tough on the daily because you don't really have any discernible peaks on this way down. You see what I mean? It's kind of like, here's the peak, and then is that a peak? That one, maybe. If you're counting that bottom one as one, then I guess you could do something like this. Stop. Something like this, right? The 50% retrace being up here somewhere, like 46.96. Maybe that's what you get off of this butterfly, right? The harmonics, again, just one ingredient as far as an argument for reversal back towards the upside, but it's there. I guess but the thing is, like, if you start selling off again, this is just going to start going more negative, so I don't know. 37.88, that is the next level of support, and you do have the butterfly. But yeah. All right, get out of here. Clean it up. I'm thinking 10 to 20 for XRP, depending on market conditions. Yeah. So if it actually replaces the SWIFT banking system, right? That's what they're trying to do. If it does replace the wire transfer system, then yeah, I mean, yeah, $10, $20, absolutely. But what I have to ask you is that why not just wait until it gets past this legal hump, right? It gets approved. Why not just wait until the legal stuff is gone? It might even, after they announce that XRP is, you know, not a security or whatever the problem is, if they announce that it's good, it will probably pump up to like $3 or $4 or something. But if you believe that it's going to 10 or 20, why not just wait until it gets approved? And then the day it gets approved, just get in there, right? And if you fully believe in it, it's going to replace all that and it's going to do that, just get into it then. It's just kind of like getting into the marijuana business before it got legalized. You know what I mean? It's just, it could either get legalized or not. There's that extra risk component to it. That's just my theory on it. And if it does get approved, I might jump back into it. Because it makes sense what you're saying with that. But there's just that extra risk component with it needing to get over legal stuff that a lot of other projects and stuff don't have. So, yeah, I hear you. It's got a lot of adoption and all that. But I probably won't touch it until it gets that approval. But let's move it to Sandbox. All right, Metaverse Coin. Let's take a look at them real quick. Again, kind of the Gartley Fartley. 886 too deep. 786 is the official Gartley, but came down to the 886, got a reaction, and outperformed. All right, so while a lot of other coins weren't even reaching their 50% retraces, holding some will load up when the time comes. Hear that? Sure, get in on it before it gets approved while it's cheap, and then if it does, just put in more. Get that? But, yeah, came up to its 618, actually, from its high in January to its low January 22nd. So, outperformed, but ultimately starting to sell off again. This inflection point back here from November 4th, all right, major level of support that you would want to try and hold if you were Sand. But ultimately, if Bitcoin keeps rolling off, Sand is most likely coming back down to $2.58. And then below that, it's going to come down to $2. And just do a full reset from its November 10th low. Okay, below that, $1.19. You see why, right? This inflection point August 30th. So, Sand was another one. Just there was no bullish divergence or anything at this rally. It just was oversold like everything else, and rallied and outperformed at an 886 retrace. Okay, so yeah, just anticipate more selling over the next couple days with what Bitcoin's doing. Okay. Whoops, I don't have that over there. The Gartley.
Perfect.
Kind of. Not actually, but not perfect. Kind of like the Fartley, right?
And it's gone.
Let's take a look at the other one. Mana. Right. Mana coming up, rejecting off of what was once support. Now it's resistance at around $3. Okay, on the daily, the 50-day moving average. So, inflection point back here. Okay. This wick low from November 10th down at around $2.28. That's your next, right? It might come down, right? If Bitcoin starts selling off, it keeps coming down and then it holds this. Okay, that's kind of interesting. You create a higher low, but more than likely it comes back down to $1.63. This zone down here, which I do believe is just some confluency here. Hold on. From the low to the high, yeah, it's right around the 113. Okay, from your low in November to your high your low in November 10th to your high November 25th. So, flowing with the 113, you come back down and hold it, maybe with some divergence or something at that point. Then that's beautiful. Okay, then we're looking at it. Looks really good. We're looking to take the trade here, but as of right now, dude, it's not the time to buy mana. You just rejected the 50-day moving average at historical resistance, as well as I think this one also got up to its 618. This one might have even got to its 786. That one even got to its 786, which, let me see something here. We move it to the 4-hour. Is there like a cipher or something here? Nah, no cipher. No harmonic necessarily. But, yeah, got up to a 7 days, a major outperformer compared to a lot of the other altcoins. But again, Bitcoin's selling off, so the alts will do what they do. They will sell off. And you get why this level makes sense, right? Like, you just zoom out a little bit, and you can see this level of inflection here. Okay, the bottom of that inflection point, that bottom wick, is going to act as resistance on the way back up. Now, on the daily, you definitely have hidden bearish divergence developing. Okay, you've got the lower high with the higher high on the oscillators. You have it on the RSI as well. Get it? Continuation to the downside implied. And it's not just necessarily, I mean, it'll continue down to its previous support, this inflection point from May, and also just the wick low. I mean, you could just see that it regarded as support. Let me see, from the low before it went ridiculous, right? That's right around the 786. So, let me see something real quick. 786. I think you had a cipher there. Yep. Yeah, so I mean, you did have a cipher harmonic. You see what I did, right? Fibonacci, low to the high. Harmonic pattern develops, C higher than A, 786 pattern completion zone. So technically, you did have a cipher harmonic down there as well. Line it up with an inflection point. That's the ticket with technical analysis, man. It's all about lining up variables, lining up a harmonic point with horizontal support, with divergence, right? You want to line up as much stuff as possible to strengthen that resistance zone or resistance line, whatever it is. That's where you can, if you want to scalp it, right, just have a buy order, set beforehand down here at this this inflection point, this zone of support. You could do that, man, and scalp this rally that it just had. You would have made like 60%. So you'll see this with technical analysis. This is the cool thing about it, is that you can visualize the price and the zones that should act as support, right? That have a good chance of acting as support, and take advantage of it. All right, you're not just looking at a number on your phone and wondering, is now a good time to buy? You're not on YouTube, you're not in a Discord or something just asking, do I buy today? Every day, right? Do I buy today? Do I buy today? You don't have to do that when you can understand this kind of stuff, right? Areas that are more likely for price to move at, reverse at, bounce off of, that kind of stuff, all right? That's it. That's my spiel there. Let's move it to Solana. Right, another popular coin, another one that was outperforming. Its daily ticket was called, right? And on the daily, it got pretty close to its. I mean, not really even. All right, it's 50% retrace, was up in the resistance zone, this inflection point back here from September 21st, right? That low, that was the major resistance level. Solana's about to get a death cross too, man, on the daily. Right here, right? 50-day moving average crossing over the 200-day moving average. The death cross. There's a few alts that are getting that now, and we've already seen that Bitcoin's was respected, Ethereum's was respected, right? So it's just another bearish variable on this thing. On the daily, this is just what's called dark cloud cover. So it didn't bearishly engulf or anything, but it's like you've certainly made a lower high. If you continue to go off here and you see the momentum start to wane to the downside, hidden bearish divergence, so continuation to the downside. At this point, you come down. I mean, I don't know, from your low to your high, we do a Fibonacci on this. Maybe, I mean, the 2618 is down here, so you come back to $82, right? That'll be your strong level of support. Try to hold that, maybe with some Class A bullish divergence at that point, and maybe 82 is the bottom. All right, that's the next level to look for, but you close below that, it's most likely like $58. Okay, this inflection point back here from May 19th, so yeah, which was kind of what was expected in the first place, because on your way down here, didn't really have any bullish divergence from this low to low, right? This low back here to this low. There was no divergence on the RSI. You were just oversold, right? You were all the way down here at 21 on the RSI, and it just got bought up at an inflection point, okay? So what a lot of them did. That is not strong confirmation of a reversal to the upside. All right, now you have a death cross impending, hidden bearish divergence potential to develop. It's just more than likely you're coming down to like $58. All right. I mean, let me know what you think about that. Does that make sense? Again, I made an analogy in the Discord today. It's like, if you're going to argue a coin or a project or a stock, whatever the case is, and you're using technical analysis, you need to pretend like you're a lawyer, right? And you're going to a judge. And if you're going to the judge, you're saying, hey, judge, I think Solana is going to go down. And he goes, why? Well, there's an impending death cross happening. There was dark cloud cover at the 382 Fibonacci retrace at historical, what was once support, now acting as resistance. You'd be like, okay, sounds good. The other argument for it to go up, hey judge, yes, I think Solana is going to go up because, I don't know, I feel like it just should have sold off more than this. This doesn't seem like a big sell-off to me. Okay, what else? No, that's it. Oh. Who's going to win that argument, right? Which argument sounds more plausible? Unless you have bullish indicators going on, which you don't, there's no reason to assume that it's going to continue to the upside. Okay? You definitely don't have it on a daily time scale. We can move it to the 4-hour. Just kind of bullish convergence a little bit. If you stay above let's see, down here, $86. If you could pivot above that, maybe treat the 50-day moving average as support. Okay, maybe you get some hidden bearish divergence or something, only on the MACD. You wouldn't get it on the RSI. And this looks exactly like a lot of other altcoins did. So Bitcoin keeps selling to the downside. Solana is going to come down to $82. Probably break it, given the daily variables we're seeing. And head back down to, like $58, right? The next level of support. And then below that, 44, right? This inflection point from June. And then below that, the strong level is $21, $22. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So $22 is that's ultimately a good spot for Solana. That's definitely where you would want to have your money ready to take a position on Solana. Okay, but yeah, downside hasn't started developing yet, but it did start on Bitcoin. So, and this death cross is like literally happening now. So downside more than likely Solana. Okay, let's move to the S&P 500. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? If it makes sense, say yay in the chat. I don't know. Dad, I don't think you've ever gotten a spin. Let's get you a spin in here. Let's go. No offense, and you can't ground me anymore because I'm a grown man now, but nice. Just so everybody also knows that it's not rigged. Okay. Again, the peasant is something to be proud of. Hardworking, right? Proud of doing hard work and just being happy knowing that you're putting in the work. Yes. All right. That's what the peasant represents. Nick, yay! Now tell me everything that I just said and what it means. Just kidding. Better days ahead. Bubba, you will get a god soon. Yes, Nick, the guy that gets God all the time. Cheering up the chat. Nice. One day, perhaps.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
All right. The S&P 500 actually had a pretty good day today. It's me. That's right. But yeah, S&P 500 ended up about 1% on the day, above the 200-day moving average, which is important, and above these inflection points back from December 2nd. All right, so doing pretty well in all things considered. Takes one to know one, you feel me? Yeah?
That's not good enough.
I think so. But yeah, so the S&P 500, all right, and check this out, okay? Again, just if nothing else, right? Oh, technical analysis is bullcrap, blah, blah, blah. All right, just look at this. So you tell me, and I'm going to ask you what this looks like. Pop quiz, okay? Anybody in the chat, what is this? What is this yellow structure here? I'll give you 10 seconds. It's a harmonic. I'll give you that hint, I guess. Nick, what does it look like? All right. It also, the names of the harmonic kind of give a hint as to what the formation looks like too. So think of C as like a fin. What would this harmonic be called? No, not the butterfly. Keep in mind the butterfly has to have a lower C than A. All right, that's one of the things about the butterfly. It has to have a lower C than A. There's only two harmonics that have a higher C than A, and that's the cipher and the shark. So which one is this? Huh? Anybody? Testing. Is this thing on? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
All right, this is the shark. Okay? The bullish shark. And the shark either has a pattern completion zone of the 886 or the 113. It's the only harmonic that has two different pattern completion zones, or can have two potential pattern completion zones. Everything else is is set. The shark, though, C cannot go above the 1618. You can see it is down here around what, 1229. What's unique is that from your A to your X doesn't really matter, as long as it's not past the 886, I would say. But it's not defined necessarily. You don't want to go past the 886 on that low, but ultimately, you know, the 552, whatever, it's fine at that point. But pattern completion zone down here at the 113, right? And look at where it started to reverse, right? Like, you could just, like, right at the wick, right down there, okay? The 113, okay? Confluent with, is it confluent with anything? I mean, I guess like these little candles over here, but ultimately the harmonic, right? Playing out. Nice. Take the 0. Shark. Nick, you always do that, dude. You always come in after I say it and you're like, oh, delay. It's not delayed that much. Get out of here. I see right through you. But, yeah, so the bullish shark. Now, one thing to consider with the bullish shark, remember that sharks can often turn into 5-0s, right? 5-0s only come after shark, either bearish or bullish. So, if you have a bullish shark, it would turn into a bearish 5-0. Now, what's interesting about this is that the S&P 500 is actually up around the 618. Okay, so the 5-0 is a 50% retrace from your D point of the shark, okay, to, you can see on the Fibonacci, from the high, that C point, to the low, the D point, the pattern completion zone, a 50% retrace is right about here at 45.28. So what you need to consider, though, is that with harmonics, oftentimes it's not directly at that 50% retrace, but around it. So the bearish 5-0 is in the conversation for the S&P 500, where it currently is. Whether or not it plays out, I don't know. But it's in the conversation for downside, as well as that 50-day moving average on the daily. All right. We can move it to, there's a delay. I sent this 5 minutes ago. So there's a delay in when I did not send it 5 minutes ago. Maybe like a minute and a half. There's a delay, I guess, when I like look at it to my left and see it, but if I don't know. I think you guys are messing with me a little bit, especially when I'm asking. I'm looking over there, but all right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt. But yeah, so on the 4 hour, if we look at the 4 hour, certainly looks like that 50-day moving average, this white line, is about to cross over the 200-day moving average, which again is the death cross, right? That seems to be the trend that it's going in. So any kind of selling that you get tomorrow, if this starts to go down, you'll confirm a death cross in the 4 hour, which at that point might be enough to confirm the bearish 5-0 after this harmonic. 15 seconds. Yeah, maybe. That sounds about right. That's a lot different from 5 minutes, though. See what you're doing there.
Okay.
All right, let's move it to the. But yeah, that's the S&P 500, man. That's the overall market. So really nice rally, but some resistance where you currently are. So just don't be shocked if we see a red day in the market tomorrow or something. We'll see. We're impending war with Russia. So, I mean, there's just some stuff going on, but we'll move it to the NASDAQ. Up about 0.5% on the day. Same kind of thing. So you can see the 50-day moving average trending towards that 200-day moving average. Okay. So, not a great sign. death cross impending unless it can just continue and hold ultimately this inflection point back here, 14,185. All right, you can see the peak support. So you're over an important level, definitely. And let me see, do you have something similar on the NASDAQ? So it's at its 50% retrace from its high in December to its low. It's at the 50% retrace. So again, remember, no bullish divergence or anything. So remember what Bitcoin just did, right? Bitcoin had no bullish divergence. It came up, met its 50% retrace before rejecting. It's common for that to happen. Just saying. You can apply it to stocks, you can apply it to indexes, you can apply it to whatever. Technical analysis is just like the emotions of the market. That's what it measures. It gives you levels and areas that often play out. And if it does in fact respect that and head back down here, well, then you've got the 50-day moving average coming in to try and cross over the 200 with that death cross. All right, so I don't know, man. Just saying. The Fed actually does start raising rates and economy cools off a little bit, and these earnings keep coming out, and these companies with their supply chain issues and stuff keep reporting slower growth and yada yada yada. You could see, like, you could really see a bear market. I mean, this is at 19.76% at its low, right? A 20% drop is officially considered a recession, right? So your past correction point, you caught relief after being majorly oversold, which you haven't been since the COVID crash. And we'll see if you can hold on to this inflection point here at 14,185. Ultimately, this is tech, right? These are tech companies. This is the tech sector. So we'll see. Let's move into some of the stocks, right, that had some interesting stuff going on. Facebook, Meta, I guess is what it's actually called, had a bad day. Bad day, right? Move it to the 4 hour, down 22.85% on the day. Why? Because apparently they were having, they missed earnings per share. Okay, they missed earnings per share. But during the call, they reported, hey, you just joined Danny. What's up, dude? Yep, we can start over. We'll start over, absolutely, 100%. Okay, we're starting over right now. Meta Platforms, aka Facebook, earnings per share missed the target. They have 5% user growth year over year. He just invested $10 billion with a B into the metaverse technology, right? So we all know that the metaverse is going to be a thing in the future, right? It's going to be very big. It might honestly take over people's lives. You might not go to work anymore. You just put on the VR set and you're in a virtual office talking to virtual people, solving virtual problems online. I don't really know why we don't go there. That definitely seems to be the way we're trending. So if Facebook is investing $10 billion into the space, if anybody is going to be like the leader in the metaverse, I mean, Facebook, Meta Platforms is probably going to be it. So fundamentally, this is fine. Who cares about missing some earnings per share? All right. You did, let me see, the 4 hour, where did it stop? Stopped right about here, 245. Yeah, I mean, look. Why did it stop there, huh? Okay. It's a level of support, a major level of support that was touched multiple times. Okay, so it stopped right at it. Now, it is oversold on the RSI. Ultimately, it'll probably get some love tomorrow. So if you want to scalp Meta Platforms, Facebook, the stop loss is very easy. You would just do something like this. Put the stop like here, risk 4%. And the first target would be the 50% retrace. So right here. So you're risking 4% for a 16% gain. All right, this is what's called a scalp position. It is not swing trading. This is just buying something that's oversold at a level of historical support based on an earnings call, which, I mean, again, doesn't really matter for the fundamental use case of Facebook, Meta, 5% year-over-year growth. They'll be fine. So if you want to play something like this would probably be the move. But, yeah. Get it! MySpace would never plummet over 20%. Yeah, they would just literally go out of business completely. I think they're still a website. I'm pretty sure they are, but like, if they came up to Meta and they were like, hey, we're about to take over, like, Meta would just...
Right.
It would be a joke. They would laugh at them. But, yeah, there's a scalping opportunity for sure on Meta platforms if you're getting bored, right? If you're looking for some something quick. Stop loss down at 239. Try to catch that 50% retrace. Okay? Sound good?
Oh my god.
Let's take a look at Spotify too, dude. Joe Rogan is rolling in his grave right now. Spotify kind of interesting though, because while it did, it was down, I guess down, what was it on the day? 5.75%. They were, I believe they were down too. They had like slower growth or something, slower user growth. Yeah, slow user growth was announced during the earnings, but whatever. Okay, bearishly engulfed. But the 4-hour, this kind of stuff, right? It went all the way down to $147 before being bought back up to $172. Is actually pretty good. The main problem with this is you're definitely showing an bearish divergence on the oscillator. All right, you rejected off the 50-day moving average on the 4-hour. You've got hidden bearish divergence on the MACD and on the RSI. So continuation to the downside implied. No bullish divergence on the RSI. So kind of just meh. Earnings definitely whacked it, but I don't know. Did you have a 50% retrace? Yeah. So look at this, right? Charles Dow, man. Charles Dow's just winning lately. Came up to the 50% retrace before dumping off. I get it. Earnings most likely caused it, but 50% retrace, right? Being respected. MySpace would never plummet over 20%. My top 3, XRP, Phantom, and Sands. Okay. I had an interesting conversation about Sand as well. I just, Sand, Metaverse, Frontrunner. Yep, I get that. That and Mana, or is Decentraland going to be the winner there? I don't know, but to be honest, I don't really know anything about Phantom's fundamental use case. I don't know what the project is doing, but we can take a look. We'll take a look at their chart, actually. Let's take a look at Google real quick, though. Google pumped, gapped, doing insane things. The reason is they announced a 20-to-1 stock split. So what's funny about Google is you move it to the weekly, and it's like the CEO was watching, right? He was watching the stock, and it got below the 50-day moving average on the weekly, and someone called him up, and they're like, sir, you know our stocks, it's below the 50-day moving average, right? And he went, 20-to-1 stock split. That'll solve it. And it pumped, right? Of course, 20-to-1 stock split doesn't necessarily mean any more value for what you have, right? It's just you have more shares. But it was interesting news that the market liked, and it pumped, gapped. Ultimately, it'll probably come back down on the daily here to fill the gap and test the 50-day moving average again, maybe the 200-day. But just something interesting going on in the markets, right, in the space. 20-to-1 stock split. So if you had one share of Google, of Alphabet, you now have 20 shares. Okay? And the price will reflect accordingly. But yeah, another notable gainer, EA Sports. It's in the game. Up 5.5%. This is if there's if bullish engulfing candle was in a textbook, and there was a picture. This is in the textbook. Okay. On stocks, you can have this because it has a closing period and an opening period, right? There's a post-market. The engulfing candles in crypto don't look like this because the markets don't close. It's 24/7. So you can't have gaps from the post-market to where it opens lower and closes above, right? But this is a textbook stock bullish engulfing candle. Very good for EA. It was off of earnings, right? I don't know what was so special about their earnings, but something was good in the earnings call. So bullish engulfing candle. You don't necessarily want to buy after something like this directly, like the day after. You want some kind of slight pullback maybe, and then get in like here, right, before the continuation to the upside. But yeah, I mean, kind of hidden bullish divergence, right? A slightly lower low, I guess, but ultimately like the bullish engulfing candle with the lower low on the oscillator. Didn't really have it on the RSI, but couple good things going on EA Sports chart here. Take a look at the weekly. It's right up at the 50-day moving average, so you want to get above that for sure. No bearish divergence necessarily. 4 hour above that 50-day moving average, and you're trying to get back above 142. Let me see, what are the major levels of resistance here? Where are we? We're right here. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see too much. If you get above the 200-day moving average on the daily, I mean, you're most likely heading up to test the local high back here from January 18th at like 142. And then ultimately, you've got a pretty strong resistance up at like 146. But you get above that, 151, 150. Cool, man. It's in the game.
Are you guys having a killer time?
Danny. Gotta give you a spin, dude. Nick got Zeus. Right, he gets a god every time, but let's give you a spin, dude. Let's see. I know you've gotten peasant like the last 15 times, but dang, dude. I'm honestly pulling for you at this point. I might start up I'll start up like a charitable fund or something, like donate to get Danny into the god status. Donate to bring Danny out of peasantry. But, yeah. EA Sports, notable gainer, had earnings today. A lot of earnings were boosting the market. So a lot of the big fish were having earnings. But, yeah, let's move back to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at it. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at Phantom for you, Dad. So, Phantom. Okay. This inflection point back here from September 9th, also regarded here October 15th at $1.94. All right, that's an important level. You are currently now below it. The daily candle did close below it. Bearish engulfing candle. No bullish divergence going on, so no sign that of seller exhaustion. The next level is going to be down here, about 178. Okay, whoops. This point here. This point here was also touched back here before ultimately selling off. All right, so $1.78 is going to be a support level for Phantom. Let's see if we can get some confluence going on. So let's go from the low to the high. There's no confluence there necessarily. The 886 brings you down to about $1.40, and that's right in this area of congestion of consolidation. That's kind of a scam wick on that one. So let's move it to this low at $1.23. 786 is a little bit more confluent at that point. So here's what I would do. I would go ahead and take this point. I stop lagging, right? And then zone it out. All right, so this is going to be the zone of support for Phantom. Good, looking to get more. Yeah, so again, Bitcoin's on off is most likely coming down, but this is the zone of support to look for something on with Phantom. I don't really see how you get any kind of bullish divergence down there at that point. If you were to just sell off now there, I don't see how you get, like, because you would just kind of start building again. Maybe that's a little bit, but you'd be down here, so you wouldn't have it on the RSI. So you wouldn't have the divergence down there, but maybe down at like $1.20. Okay, if you were to come down and bounce up here to the 50% retrace again before coming down, maybe the 886 gets it. Ultimately, you come down to a full reset and then get the confirmation, get the bullish divergence at a major inflection point. All right, then that's where you would be looking to load up on Phantom. But you got a ways to go before you get there. First, you want to tackle this zone here, okay? Phantom. Isn't that from, what was that movie? Don't Mess with the Zohan, right? The terrorist, his name was Phantom.
Right.
But yeah, unless you guys have anything. Oh my god, I think my music ran out. Hold on. Let's do this. Here we go. Unless you guys have anything you want me to take a look at, that's pretty much it for what I had here. So Tay's making her famous mustard, like honey mustard chicken or whatever. Oh my god, it's so good. She's a good cook, and I'm so happy for it. But yeah, I've been live about an hour 26 minutes now, dude. It's time to go get some grub. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned a little something, maybe what a shark is. But yeah, one more thing before I go. All right, we have to take a look at this, because if this happens, my year will officially be made. All right, so this right here, Dave Portnoy, right, owner of Barstool Sports, bought, what was it, $1 million worth of Bitcoin a couple days ago, right? It was literally this day on January 29th. So because we knew that the 50% retrace was a very common area for this to reverse back to the downside, and it is seemingly happening, I made a prediction that by the time Bitcoin reverses and comes back down to this point, that there would be a Dave Portnoy manipulation tweet. He would tweet something about Bitcoin being like a racket or whatever, right? After he bought into this, hype rally, ultimately destined to fail. So if he does, in fact, I'm gonna be watching his Twitter very carefully. If at this point, and if it gets down here and he tweets this, I'm going to send it to Barstool Sports, and that's pretty much it. And I'll feel good about myself, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, fast forward it, right? It's getting close. So I'll keep an eye on it. Just something for fun. But yeah, everybody, remember this. And I will be posting the tweets if it does in fact happen, okay? But yeah, guys, that is going to do it. I hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday night. I appreciate everybody being here. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel be seen, all that stuff. Yeah, dude, imagine it, right? They better post that on their Instagram or something if that hits, right? That is legendary. But maybe they'll have me on, do an interview or something. I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. Have a good Wednesday night. Again, like button, hit the subscribe. Join the Discord, man. Right down here, okay? Over here. It's at the top of the chat as well, the link. Get in there, dude. I'm in there 24/7. So any coin you have questions about, if you think it's a good idea to get in, if you have, if you want to learn any of the technical analysis, it's all in there. I'm in there. I'm happy to answer any questions. Join the Instagram, follow it, the Twitter, and yeah, man, that's about it. So until then, keep it real, keep it chill, and keep it nostalgic. Let's go with that one. Yeah. But more importantly than anything, more importantly than those, keep it technical. Our pose.